Perfect. And perfect. Hold on. Oh my goodness, we are here for a very special evening with our beautiful sister, Katie. And Katie, there's not enough words in our hearts to share how much Marla and I love you and how much you mean to us. And even though we get to say that every time we see each other, whether it is in person or over this beautiful call, but it's such an honor to be doing this evening. And actually, I don't know if it's a full moon tonight, but coming up and driving home, the moon was rising, and I'm like, of course, this is the evening that we get to talk with our dear sister Katie. And Katie, I have to give you a proper intro to the world. So our dear sister is the founder of the Gateway Healing. She's an international teacher, a spiritual psychologist. She is our friend, and we are honored to call you our sister, our family, because you have been on this journey since the beginning. And I already know you feel our hearts, but we love you so much. So Katie, this is the world. This is our dear sister Katie.
Aw. First of all, I want to start by saying I love you guys beyond words, as I know so many other people do, but I personally feel so lucky that I met you guys and that I have the privilege of even having you guys in my life. You guys are one of the most magical people that I know. And we need magic in our world right now. So, yeah.
Yes.
That's so
very lucky.
Well, that's how we feel. We're so blessed every day. I mean, people don't realize, but I'm actually revealing one of my closest friends, or the closest friend in my life right now.
Yeah, absolutely.
Aw.
Yeah.
I cannot tell you. I remember there was this one time I'd had such a hard month, hard month. And Marla, I actually had a dream of you that night. And I remember telling you, and in the dream, you showed up and you said, "You still have me." And then I woke up. And so that is very true. I lean on you on multiple levels, on both of you.
Yeah.
We are connected at the hearts and souls, and we feel just as that magic when all three of us are together always. The light that just beams from us, it's just undescribable. And I know you know what I'm sharing, but it's so great to hear you. It's so good to see you, and we're excited to have you share your journey, your story, because you know when we get together and I start talking, we do need a sleepover and a long weekend, and it's endless. And time literally stands still, and all of a sudden we're like, where did 5 hours just go? Literally, like time freezes and we're just in it.
And I have slept on your couch before. There was that one time I did actually fall asleep on your couch.
Yep. And you have spent many holy holidays with us, and that's why we say you are family. There is no separation, and
has taken care of our family, our children, our especially Jaden, who adores you. You're her aunts, and yes, it's unbelievable.
So tell us a little bit about yourself.
So well, you've already kind of shared that part, but I want to start by saying that I would love to share about you guys and how I met you guys.
We would love to hear
that. I met you guys through Matt Gottesman, who's awesome.
Yes.
And before I had previously met you guys, I'm not even sure I verbalized this way to you guys before, but I remember feeling to myself that it had been a long time since I hadn't had a mystical experience. And I think of mystical experiences as these spiritual, paranormal, supernatural experiences that kind of touch you. And I feel like we need mystical experiences once in a while in our lives to keep us going. You know, life is no fun without mystical experiences.
Yes.
And I remember thinking, like, gosh, it's been a while. I haven't had a mystical experience. And then, you know, Matt says to me, Katie, I got to introduce you to these people. They're amazing, da 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 da. And I remember coming to your house and sitting down, and the moment, you know, you guys put that intention stick, you know, over my neck, the mystical experience that I went into was so incredible. I mean, I remember I had like tears in my eyes. And I went home that night feeling so touched. And so, you know, you guys were my prayers answered. And that was the first mystical experience that I had in months with you guys. And I remember leaving that night thinking to myself, I just want to share this with everyone else. I just want everyone else to feel what it is that I have just felt, you know. And I remember going home just like racking my brain, like, how can I do this? Like, how can we share this with everyone of my people, my friends, my community, so that they can have this experience too. So you guys were the answer to my prayers. I had my mystical experience with you guys. And, you know, for anyone that says the intention stick is a piece of jewelry, really does not understand what really comes in through the moment you put this on your neck. You know, the moment you even make the decision to put this on your neck, I feel the energy already starts to work, you know, till the moment it actually comes on you. And I remember when we first had that first event where I was like, guys, please, can I introduce you to my community? And in fact, I have a picture of it. I want to show you guys.
Oh, I love it.
Just a memory of it. It's so sweet, of this first experience. What do? I share my screen. Oh, you have to allow me to share my screen.
Yes, dear.
Yes. You know, I remember, you know, wanting to share it, and we were standing in you guys were sitting there, sitting on two chairs, speaking. And I remember, I wanted my people to feel the energy of what was coming in through. And I was kind of nervous that night. I'm like, are they going to feel it? Are they going to, you know, feel it? And I didn't want them to feel pressurized, you know, to buy something. I wanted them to feel the energy and then let it call them, right? And I remember, you guys were sitting there, and here I have the picture right here. You guys were sitting there that night. Can you guys see it?
Yes,
Wow.
yes.
And sitting there sharing your story. And I remember we had around
60, 70, 80 people.
yeah, it was like 60 people there. Yeah, 60 people there. And sitting there. And by the end of your talk and your meditation, I think 80% of the people stood up and said they wanted one. And I was just overjoyed that they could feel the current of energy that was coming in through, and know that this was so much more than just some tangible thing you wear over your neck, you know. And so that was the start of my meeting you guys, which was so exciting.
I want to not interrupt you, but I want to go back prior, because it brought up all of the beautiful memories of that beautiful night that Matt and you were here, and we were honored to do the blessings for you, to give you your intention stick. And I remember it because when you were describing that, it brought up that happiness, those tears.
Yeah.
But I want everyone to realize how big your heart, how special your soul is, that you give everything of yourself to your friends, to your students, to anyone that comes into your life. And we had to remind you in a beautiful way. And yes, you already know we're big brother and sister. We play that role. But we had to remind you that you, Katie, had to fill herself back up, because we cannot give what we do not have, even though we want to touch and help every person that comes into our lives. And we give and we give and we give, and that's why we're here. There's not even a question in our minds.
Yeah.
But we had to remind you in such a beautiful way that it's time to fill up, to make you the best version of Katie, which you are anyways. But we forget sometimes, because we're helping others, giving kindness, giving blessings to so many, that we forget to stop and take care of ourselves and love ourselves and give kindness to ourselves, those self needs. And that was such a, literally, Marla and I watched you like, whoop, like reboot. It's still making the hairs stand up on my arms, because I remember like it was yesterday. And I don't know if you want to add to that evening, because it was miraculous.
I think that was the mystical experience that Katie was
Yes,
talking about.
absolutely.
The connection.
Yeah, I just felt so touched. I remember feeling so touched, and I remember feeling like this is something that can't even be described in words. Like, some people can say, I don't know, this is like Reiki, or this is like that, or this is like that. And I remember thinking, no, you can't compartmentalize it that way. And that was my memory of that night, feeling so touched, and feeling like I don't want to even use words that diminish it, because I was going to use a word like a receiving, a deep receiving, type of a feel there. So it was my mystical experience of the months. Yeah.
And thank you for sharing that, because that's so powerful. I'm seeing that. It's just incredible, that light. And
to welcome us into your home, into your space with all of your students, was so gracious, and to allow us to share in the movement and the intention stick, and to watch everybody, like you said, receive, was so powerful. And really, it affected us tremendously, because we started to understand what was really going on through that opportunity with you.
And honestly, I don't even remember it that way. I remember it in the way of, oh my gosh, would they be so kind to share this? Would they be so kind to come? Like, I remember like, would they be okay? Like, I was just like, it was more like, but I have the privilege to be able to share this type of a feel.
you are
Yeah.
such sugar. I'm sorry. It just gives me a cavity just listening to you.
Yeah.
And you allowed Marla and I to, for the first time, which I love, that it pushed me to be a better version of myself, to lead one of the first guided meditations. And Marla said, and it was probably a good 40-minute guided meditation I did, as everyone sat in stillness.
Yeah.
And the meditation I did, Marla said after, she said, I could have stayed in this meditation for 2 more hours. It was so beautiful, but we became one. And what was even beyond words is, as you said, the entire room, as we do now, because of you, besides the ones or shorter groups, we had the entire room of 60 people stand up, form a circle, hold hands, and did the blessings and prayers for everyone. And that energy, literally, besides the light and love that was created, like knocked us over. The love that was in this room, I mean, I know that hit the heavens above, and we were one, even though we are a collective one. But it was very powerful, and so grateful for that gift that you allowed us to share.
Yeah.
And never forget that.
And I remember that too, that last part of the meditation. I remember us sitting in silence for a while. Like, none of us wanted to open our eyes. I actually remember that really, really well. I remember finally I opened my eyes to peek and your eyes were still closed. And I remember thinking, oh, thank God I can close my eyes for another few moments. You know? So yeah,
It
that was
was,
awesome.
it was truly a gift, and we will be
Really
forever
special.
grateful for
Oh,
that. And the souls, the beautiful people that we are still to this day, we talk with them daily, and just the messaging and that's why we say our spiritual family continues to grow around the world, and that's pure love. That's just pure love. And I'm so excited because you know me, I'm like the big child, because when you said I've got two, this was prior, but you wanted to share a couple of stories that we haven't heard. So I'm
yes.
like giddy. I'm like, okay, this ought to be good coming from you. So I can't wait. Right?
Yes.
Okay, good.
It's gonna be
So
Yeah.
fasten your seatbelt, people.
So yeah, I have two stories I wanted to share. Um, the first one was when I was in the Middle East. I was in Dubai, and this was a little bit more than a year ago. And I was there, just teaching classes and doing private sessions and stuff like that. And I had this lady um, come up to me who wanted a session. And so I asked her, do you want a reading or a healing? Because, those are the two things I offered. And she said, I want a reading. And when she said that, the moment she said that, my gut felt that she kind of needed a healing, like she needed to shift something in her, type of a feeling. But I just went with her and I said, okay, well, let's do a reading, sure. And so we booked it. And her story with this lady is that she has a son with Down syndrome, and for years she has gone to healer after healer, gone to these like sacred holy places you can go to. People have heard of miracles. She's gone a holy place to holy place to healer, trying to heal her son that has Down syndrome, to the point where it she was almost obsessed. She was almost obsessed with healing her son from Down syndrome, type of a feeling. Um so she comes in, and her primary question in the reading is, um how can I heal my son? What can I do? How can I heal, and when will it heal? Those were her two questions. And so I remember tuning in, and guys, as clear as day. Sometimes when the answers are just so clear, it's like you're seeing it like a screen right in front of you. As clear as day, I saw this image of her in past lives, as she's always lived or been solo. So it's always been, like a free woman in the world doing whatever she wanted to do, or, like a free bachelor doing whatever he wanted to. So she'd had many lives of her kind of just thinking of self and thinking of no one but herself. And so the message that came through was, your child is actually a gift for you to have selfless love in this lifetime, to learn and know what it is to care for someone else other than yourself. And that this was really a soul contract that, your son is really not going to heal. It's actually meant to be this way. This is meant to be the setup, if that makes any sense. So
Yeah.
I remember looking at that and going, ooh, that's quite intense. Okay. But I shared the message just as I saw it. And I got the worst response from her you could ever get. I mean, she was in total resistance to this message, so resistant. But I know what I had seen. I trusted it enough to not back down. And so, I tried to say it in different ways, nicely, gently, sugarcoating it, but it kind of didn't matter. She just didn't want to hear it. And so she left that day. And for the coming week, I'm continuing to do my stuff there. And I get a message every day from her, questioning what I've said, resisting what I've said, trying to push against what I've said, like over and over and over again, to the point where it honestly got a little tiring for me, you know. And I even said one day to her, I said, listen, it's okay. You don't even have to see this as truth, you know, just take what you want from it, and whatever you don't, it's absolutely okay. You know what's best for you, kind of like handing it back to her type of a feeling. And I mean, but she still wouldn't receive it. The next day she'd send me another message saying, well, there are multiple realities, and maybe you're just not reading from the right reality. I mean, she just went on and on. Anyway, so a week had passed by, and I was going to leave 3 days after. So it was 3 days left of my trip. And this woman was still texting me, and I kind of started to feel like it was like I was letting it affect my peace. Mm-hmm. And I remember thinking, what do I do? What do I do? What do I do? Like, do I meet with her again? What do I do? And I looked to the side, and I was thinking, and as I'm looking to the side, I'm looking at my luggage, and there is an intention stick there, brand new, fresh box, my last one, my last intention stick. And I think to myself, okay, you know what? I'm just going to give this to her as a gift. And I'm just going to meet up with her one more time. I can clearly see she's so unsettled. And I'll give her this as a gift, as a parting gift, and then I'll leave, you know. And so I met with her, you know, maybe like one to the last day of being there. And, you know, I shared a little bit about the intention stick. Of course, no one can share it as great as you guys. It was in my broken, and it's amazing. And you know, you know, in my broken intention speak explanation. And I, you know, had her read the intentions and pick one. And she didn't know which one to pick. And so she looked at me and she said, how many can I pick? I said, 1 to 3. You don't want to pick more than 3, because then it starts getting heavy, right? All of that stuff. I'm a good student. And so she said, you know what? I think I just want to pick 1. And I was like, wow, that's shocking. Most of the time, we just want to hoard those intentions.
Can I put them all in? So your head will explode.
Yeah. I'm like, I want to put all 22 in there, but no, I have my 3. And so anyways, and so she said, you know, will you pick one? And I looked at all the intentions, and I thought to myself, and then all of a sudden I saw be, let it be. And I thought to myself, this is the one. So I took it out, and I said, I think this is yours. And I put it in the thing for her. I closed the valve up, and I came to put it on her, and she broke down in tears, and she's crying like this, like through the heart, like, you know, when it goes all the way to the chest, your lungs, you know, she's just crying like that. And I let it marinate in her for a good 5 minutes. I just kind of watched her, because I knew the work was being done right inside. And so finally, after that, you know, I said, are you okay? And she said, yeah. And I said, what are you feeling? And she said, I think for the first time, I know my purpose, my true purpose. And I said, what is your true purpose? And she said, my purpose is to be the best mother I can be. And in that moment, finally, the acceptance that she needed came from that gift, from the be, let it be. And so and I left that trip in peace, you know, in so much peace, you know. Yeah. And so
chills up and down my body.
Yeah.
Wow, Katie.
Yeah. And so I was such a, you know, relief. But what I love about, you know, the intention, and that's what I keep reiterating, not that people need to hear this, but this really isn't a jewelry. This is a vessel for something much higher to come through. It's a conduit. It really is. It's a channel, whatever you want to call it. It's an instrument, you know, for something higher to come through. And, you know, when I think of intentions, I think there's really three types of intentions a person can have, right? We have our intentions from our subconscious mind. Those are the ones that usually we're not aware of, but can cause a lot of havoc in our life,
Yes.
right? Like think of the woman who always keeps attracting that abusive man,
Yeah.
like even though really she wants true partnership.
Yeah.
Right? That's a subconscious intention. It's in the subconscious mind. You're not aware of it. The second type of intention we have is intentions from our lower desire body. These are ones that we are aware of, but may not really like, or sometimes we do like, too much. Like, oh, I really, should be eating my lettuce and my salmon right now, but I want a burger, lower intention, lower desire body intentions, like, ooh, I really shouldn't have sex with him, but ooh, I really want to, or I shouldn't have that piece of cake, but I'm going to, right? Lower desire body intentions, and those really get us in trouble.
Yes.
And then the third type of intention we have is intention from our soul's heart. And those are the highest of intentions. And I believe when we are working with the intention stick, we're not working with the lower intentions. We're not working with the lower desires. When we're putting this on, we are in alignment with the desires of our soul, which is the highest form of intention you can have, right? And so I love this because I feel as humans, one of our, I don't want to call it defects, but character traits that we have is that we're so forgetful. We're very forgetful as humans. It's like one day we can feel the love of God and we can have such an incredible experience. And 3 days later, we can be angry on the phone, excuse me for my language, but, F this world,
Yeah.
I'm so done, type of a feeling. And we're just forgetful, right? We can touch high energy and then forget it. And what I love about this intention stick is as we're putting it on, and the intentions that we hold in here, we're saying, God, this is what's most sacred to me. This is what the heart of my soul is dedicated to, right? And it keeps us consistent, And so anyways, that was my second story. And that was her coming into alignment with the intentions of her soul, in that moment, which was so incredible.
Wow.
I'm speechless.
And we were there with you.
Yes.
We literally felt her pain, but her release and her happiness and her understanding, finally, of her chaotic journey, trying to think she was here to heal her son, and it was about healing her soul. And and she was given the ultimate gift in her life, her son, to know she was there to take care of him. Wow, that is so beautiful, Katie. What a gift. Yeah, I can't add any.
It was in one moment, and that's the power of grace.
Yes.
It's like, it's not, I don't know, sitting in therapy and looking at belief after belief after belief and talking about the same thing for years. It was one moment, the light comes in, I'm set free.
Yeah.
And that's my definition of grace, Yeah. And so that's why it was just miraculous. It was incredible.
Oh my goodness. Thank you for sharing that story, because that one is going into the book.
Yes, that is definitely going in the book.
But and something that there are very few people in the world right now that know what's taking place, and it is beyond anything we're ever going to experience or see in our lifetimes. But as I said, you are such an important part of our journey, our lives. And I have to share this, and I'll make it brief because it'll be 9 hours if I start talking, and I'll let Marla take over. But this goes back about over a year now. Marla so sensitive, so intuitive, just receives just that beautiful conduit. And
Yeah.
she wakes me up early morning and says, I just saw this vision of this little girl in Africa sleeping on the ground, moving from place to place to place, and we need to get her an intention stick.
Oh.
And she says, and you can tell it's weighing on her, like it was that vivid. And she says, it doesn't make, it's not practical to jump on a plane and go to Africa and search for this girl, give her an intention stick. I mean, there's sense and there's, again, there's practicality, but you could tell it's just really tugging on her heart. Like, I have to find this girl. And guess who shows up that morning? None other than you, to pick up intention sticks for another trip to Dubai to teach and heal. And you're coming to get a bunch of intention sticks for your students and friends and family. And Marla says, I have to share this story with you. And you say to Marla, you'll never guess.
Well, what I said was, I had the vision of this girl in Africa, and she was part of this orphanage, and I've got to find her. And that's when, go ahead.
Okay, so, and you say, you'll never guess, from Dubai, I'm going to Africa to visit an orphanage. And we're like, but of course you are. And we said, so here's an intention stick. All three of us held the intention stick, did blessings. And Marla and I said to you, we know you're going to find this little girl.
Yeah.
And you left, and you came back 6 weeks later. And you can, do you want to share this story, or do you want us to share?
No, I think Katie
should, because it's profound.
And I remember I was going to Africa to teach, and I remember I was promised to go see an orphanage there. And I mean, I didn't know how it was going to happen, when it was going to happen, who it was going to happen. It was just a promise that the lady that was hosting me there said she would do. And I remember going there, and it was 2/3 of the way in, they take me to an orphanage, and I was kind of looking and searching in all the kids' eyes, like, which one are you? Girls, come forward, which one are you? And I wanted to give it to one, but the lady there stopped me and said, please don't. Because if you give it to one of these girls, what happens is, in the nighttime, they come and they take it off their necks and they take it to sell it. So, anything that's shiny, anything that's brand new, even if it's a brand new toy, it gets taken from them, and, they take it out to sell it. And so I remember being so heartbroken, because I'm like, no, I've made this commitment, I want to find this girl. And then I came back home, and I heard of this girl a few days later who was a daughter. There was like 5 kids in the family, and a single mom, really barely making it on her own type of a feeling. Her husband had not been there for years, and she was actually going through such a rough time in her life, emotionally, mentally. And the lady said, is there any chance you would give this to her? She really needs it right now. And so we did the prayers, and we gave it to this child, who was a girl who was having such a hard time. And I remember her like having just such a smile on her face, having it. And like I said, can I take a picture of you? And she was smiling with it. And, she was so proud of it. And I'm like, okay, there's my girl. I found her, type of a feeling. And then I remember coming home saying, guys, the reality there is really intense. And that's when you guys spoke about making the prototype, right?
So hold on.
that time or
I
something.
want to show everyone this beautiful girl.
She's so sweet.
That smile.
So
Look at those eyes. She is just beaming. Just
yeah.
beaming.
She
So
was so shy and just so sweet and humble,
In
and
her eyes, you know,
yeah, yeah.
how happy she is at that moment.
and this is, you're right. You came home sharing.
Well, hold
Yeah, I'm
on,
gonna let you.
Katie, did you? Maybe I'm not remembering correctly, but after that moment, I believe you had shared that you also had seen shortly after another little girl almost in the same predicament, but you didn't have any more intention sticks.
Yes.
You wanted
to, so I took off mine and I gave it. Yeah. I remember that. That
again, I just have the chills.
I know you are so selfless and giving, and it's just because you shared with us at that time here, an 11 or 12-year-old girl is now taking care of her siblings, and that's, it hit Marla and I so hard when you came back to share that what you just said. It is just taking place everywhere in these villages and throughout the orphanages. And we said, enough, we have to do something about this. And what's that?
Well, I wanted Katie to share, because when she came back, she started sharing these stories with us.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and they shared a story with me there. The lady that was hosting me, she was so sweet. I loved her. She was a mom and lovely. She's like a mama type energy, you know. Mm-hmm. And she shared the story about how a long time ago, her and her ex-husband at the time bought a bunch of mattresses and pillows and blankets for the orphanage there. And they took it there, and all the kids, for the first time, were not sleeping on the floor anymore. They had blankets and pillows and all of this stuff to sleep on. And then a few days later, they had to leave town for a month. And when they came back to bring some more, I think, food for the kids, all the mattresses, pillows, and blankets weren't there anymore. And the owner of the orphanage said someone came at when we weren't there and stole all of our mattresses, pillows, and blankets. And now the kids are on the floor again. And her heart just broke, you know, that the kids are sleeping on the floor again. And a few days later, one of the ladies that worked at the orphanage that was close to this, you know, the host that was taking care of me, Mama Bear, we'll just call her Mama Bear, said to her, listen, they actually lied to you. They took all the mattresses, pillows, and blankets and sold it.
Wow.
You know, when you guys weren't there. And so the situation there, it's a very different reality there than it is here. Even when you come to donate something, you know, it's like you really have to watch who you're donating it to. It really has to be a trusted partner and things of that nature. And then I think it was at that time you guys said you're creating a prototype that isn't shiny, that, you know, that is affordable.
Yes.
Yeah, and that can be bought in bulk.
Yes.
Yeah.
When you came back and you shared these incredible, profound stories of what took place, you really inspired us, and it propelled us to move quicker, because we were at that point strategizing on how we were going to help every child on this planet. And we were thinking about it and looking into it, but that really pushed us. And we were really moved by those stories. And we started doing the research and really trying to understand how we could do an intention stick that wouldn't put any child in harm's way. And that was really important to us to do that. I know you wanted to share.
No, this is good. I'm just listening, holding that space, but it was.
I truly believe this is the solution, because like I know now if I ever go there anywhere else next time, um, first of all, I can buy so many more now, for the kids,
Right.
and that it won't cause it's not shiny. It's not going to cause attention.
Mm.
They
It's,
can wear it, and hold it on forever.
Yes.
Yeah.
Kate, what went so when you came back and we started talking about all this, we realized really what came to us was, at what point did someone make the decision that giving ended with food, or
Yeah.
giving ended with a mattress, or that giving ended with a pair of socks? Now, we're not suggesting that we don't give those things. Those things are needed. We have to feed their
it's a given.
bellies. We have to do those things. But we cannot walk away from them after we give them food. We have to teach these children to love themselves, to nurture their souls,
Yes.
to look within inside of themselves, and to know that they can overcome their circumstance, that they can self-love, right? That they can build on their self-esteem and know that there's a whole world out there for them. But if we walk away from them, then we know they're cut off from consciousness.
Yeah.
If they're cut off from consciousness, then these beautiful children don't have the tools they need to succeed in life.
Yeah.
We know it's the same place where Mozart was able to receive his compositions, or where Einstein reached for his theory of relativity, or where you're inspired, or where Scott and I are inspired from. But if they're cut off from that, then they'll never be able to see the world that's out there for them.
Yeah. It's true spiritual food, which is what each and every one of us need. It's why each and every one of us are here.
Absolutely.
Yes.
So
And,
it is the most important thing.
and the most beautiful part of what Marla just said, from your inspiration, as Marla said, to propel us to move faster. And I had the vision that it should be a pure white vessel, right, to represent the soul of each child. Because if we think spiritually or religiously, a priest, a rabbi, a guru, a yogi, we wear pure white to receive that light, so that these children should receive that light, so it should touch their soul. And something also more importantly, to be sustainable and green, we figured out how to make it in a recyclable product that's actually sand-based, and that, as you said, it would not put a child at risk.
Yeah.
And as Marla was just saying, we have to make sure that these children grow up living a life of intention, that these children, even though they're in an orphanage or here in the United States or anywhere around the world, every child's at risk. I don't care if you're coming from a very affluent family or you're sleeping on the street. Every child is going through something, and I'm talking we collectively, have to make sure that every child understands that they are loved, and that they do matter, and that they do have purpose, and they are as important as anyone else in this world, which they are. But they have to have the proper tools, the reminder, as Marla and you just said, to love themselves, to have the courage, because when they're on that path, or when they age out from an orphanage, or when that parent or that teacher or that mentor or the therapist or whatever is no longer by them side to be that angel on their shoulder, they will have the tool. They will remember that person, that beautiful soul that gave them an intention stick, because that they did matter, and that they were going to stay on that path with a heart and with light and with love. Because when they grow up, they're going to remember and come back and help those that are less fortunate, to help those children that may be going through those exact same things, and to see finally that we are all the same. There is no color, there is no race, there is no religion. All of our souls in this world are connected, and we are a part of oneness. And we are reminding these beautiful kids, because these children are our future. And this world doesn't realize how brilliant our children are. And they are going to change the world. They are the seeds. They are the light and the love that is going to eradicate all the negativity and divisiveness that we see in this world today. because that's why they chose to come back in this lifetime. We may see all the chaos going on right now with what we're witnessing, but through that chaos, that light is going to break through, and it's going to touch every heart and soul of every child in this world. And because of your inspiration, this month, of course, on 11/11, we are getting ready to launch globally the new intention stick for all of the children around the world. And our mission to start, because it's not about Marla and I, this is the help from everyone, is to gift, just to start, 1 million of the intention sticks, to make sure, we know it's going to be millions upon millions because that's why we're here, but to make sure in every country, in every village, in every orphanage, in every school, that we know that every child will receive an intention stick, to make sure they are never feeling alone, or that they're by themselves or going through something just because of the circumstances they are currently in. We're going to give them that hope that will bring them on the path to faith, that will know to grow up with courage, and they are going to help change this world collectively. And this is why we're having this call tonight on this beautiful, miraculous evening, as we watch the sun, set and the moon rise at the same time, because it's the birth of a new generation. It's a birth of light and love for every child on this planet. And we're going to do this collectively. It's not Marla and I and Katie, it is all of us. It takes a village, it takes a tribe. And it goes back to what Marla and I share every day. Two things. One, I know we've shared this with you, but in the Talmud, it says, when we save one soul, we save the world entirely, because we are collectively together. All of our souls are connected. We are one. We just forgot. And it goes back also to one of the most beautiful things Marla shared with me, which is an ancient Greek proverb that says, a society grows great when old men plant trees in which they know the shade they will never sit in. And these children are the seeds. And it's going to be about the children, the grandchildren, the great-great-grandchildren, to grow up living a life of intention.
Aww.
Wow. Wow. That's how much we love you. And you do know you are arm in arm with us and all of our brothers and sisters around this world. We are arm in arm, and it's time to shine. It's time to start helping these children. Of course, the adults, but these children are the most important and precious things in the world. And we just have to realize that.
And it's so doable. I mean, if you think of us, I mean, there's at least a minimum of 1,000 of us, wearing these, a minimum of 1,000 of us wearing.
We're in the tens of thousands around the world now. So, and it's someone that doesn't even have one. That's what I'm saying. It's not only the most beautiful gift you could receive, it's the most beautiful gift you could ever give yourself, because it then it connects us to the collective. As you said, it's that. I'm like, wow. I just want to.
I know, and I see us together putting these around these beautiful children all over the world.
What I was gonna say, look, if just, let's just say 10,000 of us, right? If just each of those 10,000, just by 10, just by 10, that's 1 million, right?
Right there.
It's literally.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, that's 1 million,
Oh,
right?
okay, so
Children, and it's so doable. You've made it so doable now.
it's so
for us to buy 10.
I would be honored, because it's going to impact. So the spiritual number for the new intention stick, I think we've shared with you that we kept seeing over and over again, was the 1899. And you already know, even with the stainless ones, that everything ends with a 99, not because of a value of monetary, but the 99 cents actually plants a tree, not only for the adult, but for the child to give back to Mother Earth, because
Oh.
these trees have been here since creation, and they're going to be here long after we're gone. Plus,
Oh.
they're alive and communicate and protect and heal one another, just as all of our souls are.
Yeah.
And then the 18 represents life, the numerical value.
Yeah.
So the new intention sticks are $18 in US dollars, $18.99. But you're right, if
So easy to buy 10.
I know, but it's not.
So you know, so easy for each of us to buy 10 and literally start this next step of this movement.
I,
You know,
Thank you.
Thank you. I love
doable.
you.
So practical.
It's what is it? Not $200, and it's
Yeah.
it's through the new 501c3. So that's the most beautiful part. Again, we never thought we were going to be form a foundation or nonprofit. And February, because people were saying, "How can I help? What can I do?" And we're like, "We're not a 501c3," and we said we have to become a 501c3, and we're like, "Okay," and it takes sometimes
It takes a
6
long
months, a
time.
year, 2 years
Yeah.
to get approved. So we applied, which is interesting, in February, right before COVID. And we were on a beautiful call with another beautiful teacher. And all of a sudden, mail comes in. And it was from the government. I'm like, I'm not opening this. Who wants to open anything from the government? And something saying, open it. And I opened it. And it was our approval.
Wow.
3.5 weeks later, we were fully approved for our 501c3, so people can help. And it is a charitable cause. And they can, thank you. Like, it's what you just said, to impact 10 children's lives, even if it's one, but we know it's going to be 100, 1,000, a million, a billion. And even if it's not in our lifetime, even when we transition, this is what is to be for generations to come. And I'm so excited that you shared that, because we never say that, because it's not about us ever trying to say something, you need to buy an intention stick. And it's what comes from your heart, your soul, but it's the impact you're going to make on a child's life, or in an orphanage's life, or an entire classroom, as we're doing for another group of kids from our dear friend Laura. The entire 6th grade is going to be receiving intention sticks, because we're going to make sure that these children are full of light and love, and that they are surrounded by love from around the world. And
Laura was in the room that day.
Yes.
So cool.
So cool.
Yeah, I get texts once in a while from people saying, "Hey, I just bought." I think Carissa sent me a text. I just bought 4 intention sticks or whatever, and it's like, oh, it's incredible.
Our family is growing around the
why
world.
you're so important.
No, it's so wonderful. But see, when you're having to force doors to open, when you're having to, that's when something's up. When things just naturally unfold by themselves, it's like a carpet that just keeps unfolding. It's like, it's so fascinating. It's so beautiful to watch.
This, and I know you know this, but for someone that hasn't heard Marla and I share this, and you just brought the vision back. So 4 years ago, after we saw this, after the vision, after it was ready to softly launch around the world, Marla had this beautiful vision that this intention stick, coming from pure love and pure intention, would sweep the world like a beautiful tsunami. That everyone in the world would be wearing one in every language and in Braille, and that we would all insert the word oneness at the same time. Because as we know, we don't have to die or transition to go to heaven. It's all around us. It's everywhere we are, but it's within everyone. We just have to see that and truly believe that, versus seeing the negativity or the chaos. And it is in a time that is so needed, especially with what we're witnessing today. It gives these beautiful souls the courage, the trust, the faith, the light, the love that they need to fill them back up, right? So they can continue on that journey to understand they're here to touch just one more soul.
Oh.
And we love you. Oh my goodness. Marla knows I can actually, and I'm giving you hugs and sending so much love because you are my sister. And
Agreed.
oh my goodness. And my baby sister though.
Yes.
I don't know, like, is there anything you want to ask Katie? Because
I am
look at
full.
these cheeks.
Yes.
You know, my tell, Katie, is when I'm full, these things are glowing. And it's just the
adorable.
Love. It's the love.
Yeah, this has been amazing. And as Katie, you really inspired us to move on this. And we are together, and anyone who wants to join us, we will be traveling around the world once we get through COVID.
Yes.
We will be putting intention sticks around these beautiful children, and we are going to help heal every child. That's what we're all going to be doing.
And I love what you just said. And of course, I know, Katie, we'll be arm in arm traveling. I already see it. But it's also about anyone as well joining in. This isn't about this is about us collectively. And if there's someone that wants to help, we have friends every day saying, how can I help? What can I do? Can I volunteer? And they're like, yes, please. That's why we say, besides when we say this to you, already know this, but anyone who is a part of the Tree of Life movement or the foundation, you are as important to this as Marla and I, because it's not about Marla and I. It is about us collectively in a time that is so needed. We cannot continue to witness these children suffering or going through what we're seeing right now. As we say, not on our watch. And that's what, as Marla said, you pushed us, inspired us to make it happen even faster. So it's just so much love and gratitude from Marla and I. So, oh my goodness. And I don't want this call to end because we know we can be here for 9 hours, literally. But I think this was our first date.
Yeah, and I did want to end with another story.
Yes, please. Oh my goodness. I'm making popcorn.
Yeah, I don't know if you have 5 minutes or not, but this
Take
is
as much time.
From another event you guys came to, and I'm going to actually share my screen.
Yep, you're good.
More time. Let's see if this works. Does it show?
Yes.
Oh,
yeah.
So powerful.
Yeah. So there you are, Scott, and there you are, Marla. I have one. Marla. There you are, Marla, right there with your mic speaking to the people. And then, there we go. Here's a good close-up of you. But so you guys remember this event, and this, I don't know, it was another event. It wasn't the same one that we had first done. So at the end, so we spoke about the intention stick in this event. And at the end of the event, people got in a line to, buy the stick. And the next day I get a text message from, I'm going to back up a little. I apologize. I'm going to back up. So before this event happened, this lady sends me a message saying, hi, Katie, you don't know who I am, but I would really like to come to this event, but I can't afford it. Is there any chance I can come and, maybe pay you later when I find a job? And she explained to me how she had been out of a job for an entire year and was literally down to like the grind till right till the end. Like she had 1 more month, which was this coming month, of money left in her bank account for her rent. And then she was completely out. Her bank account was going to be zero. And, of course I heard this and I'm like, yes, of course you can join, just come join us and don't even worry about paying and all of this stuff. So then she comes, she, hears you guys. all of that stuff. And is just so attracted to it. And she decides to do something which I don't think you guys knew back then, is she decided to take some of her rent money and buy an intention stick. So now she wasn't going to have enough money for her rent that month. And you guys didn't know her. You guys were just, speaking to everyone and praying and everyone at the end and all of that stuff, right? And so she took a leap and did that, took some of her rent money for the last month and bought an intention stick. So the next day she calls me and she says, Katie, I have a confession to make. I got an intention stick. She shows me the picture of it, type of a feeling. And I just really felt so called to do it. And I picked 2 intentions. And I'm kind of stuck between the third one. And I think the third one was, I don't remember it. I think it was oneness and faith. I remember the faith. I just don't remember if it was oneness. I think it was oneness. She's like, which one do I pick here? And she was asking me. And my first thought was, first of all, I want to say something. I love all your 22 intentions. They're just the most incredible, beautiful intentions, really. I just love them because they're just so perfect. There's just no other word for it other than they're perfect. And so I thought for a moment, and I thought, I think you should pick faith, because faith is knowing that God will deliver even though we don't have tangible proof of it yet, right? Yes. It's walking blindly, knowing that it will come. Ask and you shall receive, right? And yes. So I said, you should pick faith for your third one. And I always have faith in mine. I have faith, trust are always in there, always. And so, long story short, a week passed by and she was dropping off her son to school. And it was like an after school something, like music club or something like that. So the school actually had an elevator. So she went in with her son into the elevator, and this other mom rushed in on the phone with her daughter, like pulling her daughter into the elevator too. And her mom, this other mom, was on the phone, kind of venting, complaining, very frustrated. And she said on the phone, the so-and-so position still hasn't been filled, and I really need help in this department. You really need to find someone for me. And the position was a very unique position. It was like a forensic something, analyst something. And that was the job this lady was looking for. It was her niche. It was a very niche job.
Holy shnikes.
Yeah. And so they both got off on the thing and they dropped the kids off they were going to the same music camp. And then she said, listen, I'm so sorry I overheard you, but I'm actually looking for that position. I can literally send you my resume from the car, and she ended up getting the job.
Oh my goodness. Wow.
But it's crazy. I mean, she took a leap of faith with her last rent money, bought the intention stick, and got the job. And so it was just so crazy. But it was, stories like this, we just hear stories like this all the time.
Truly,
yeah. And that was from that event that you guys did. And the last thing, isn't that incredible though? It was so
good. Every hair in my body is standing.
Yeah. And this is the last really weird coincidence.
No coincidence, you know that.
It's been hard for us to kind of get on the same timeline, and we've been thinking, but it was this day 2 years ago that
oh my goodness.
We had, and you gave a group of intention sticks to this amazing group right here, which is another group. This is Matt's group. Of intention sticks became that day to get it. So I just wanted to say the timing was just so perfect. The way it kind of worked out, because it was this day.
That is 2 years ago today. Yeah. Unbelievable.
Are you serious?
Wow.
Yeah.
And you know what's really even more divine? We were
of the miracles.
Oh, that is,
My favorite picture.
oh, I
2
love
years
that.
ago this
Yeah,
day.
send that to me. I'm gonna get that framed.
I know. I am actually. Yeah. That needs
So
to
you
go.
know what's even more amazing? We were at Windsor Castle 4 years ago
Wow.
today.
The
For the
first
first
time,
time,
yeah.
we were invited to Windsor Castle to speak with 26 other visionaries and world leaders on shifting consciousness and making change in the world for a better place. When we stayed and slept at the castle for 4 days, and we were there talking about the intention stick, and that's really where this journey unfolded, and we knew we were being guided. We were brought here for a bigger purpose and a divine reason, and we were told that, which at the time we didn't know this person, that the tree of life was going to encompass in the entire world. And you know the story, and
Yeah.
that was 4 years ago today as well. You can't make this up. You realize that.
No, it's so
Right, because we've
awesome.
been trying to do this for
I
a
know.
while.
Right, right. We were supposed to do it a few days ago, a week ago, a month ago, and
Our
And I was
schedules
like, oh
are
my God,
just, yes.
so weird. This just comes up on my thing.
no, well, you know what we always say, what makes God laugh? Telling him your plans.
Your plans, yeah. You know, and we all always have our differences. I mean, we do. We're just different as human beings, and we're such a mixed bag of different things, all of us. You know, and what brings us together is having a common purpose.
That's right.
Yeah, and that's what, you can have such a mixed bag of different people in the room and have them all unite because there is a common purpose. And, that's what you guys are doing,
Oh,
which is so beautiful.
What's that?
Yeah, it can bring all sorts of different personalities that would usually never get along or never even be in the same room together, as long as they have a common purpose.
yes.
They can, and that's what you guys are doing, which is so
Hey,
awesome.
Katie, and you bring up a really good point, because one of the things that we also talk about is peace.
Yes,
And for
which is
thousands
so needed right now.
yes, and thousands of years, there have been
Yeah.
many leaders or countries or a church that have been trying to put peace out to the world. And it's happened maybe for a little bit of time, but then it dissolves,
Yeah,
goes away.
yeah,
And we were speaking with one of our friends from the UK, and who has been or used to be an equivalent to a Navy SEAL here in the United States, and he
Mhm.
fought in Afghanistan,
Mm.
Yugoslavia, excuse me, and saw atrocities. And one of the things we said was exactly your point, which is that imagine if he was on the front lines and he was coming around the corner and he found himself face to face with his enemy, and he sees his enemy is wearing an intention stick.
That would really change things.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We have to bring that love and peace back into this world, but as we know, it starts from within ourselves, because if we don't truly love who we are, how can we give that love away? What it says in every spiritual and religious book or culture in the world, which we know says, love your brother and your sister like you love yourself.
Yes.
And it is, as I say every day, the most difficult thing to achieve in this lifetime. And what you're talking about right now, the peace, if we don't have that peace from within ourselves, how can we give peace away to our family, our community, and then the world? And we have to start filling back up with that love so we can love all of our brothers and sisters, because we know there is no black, white, pink, yellow, brown. There is no Christian, Jewish, Buddhist, Muslim. Our souls are the same. But we have to have peace within ourselves first so we can see peace in this world. And we're doing that. And that's why this is so important. This is why we chose to come back in this lifetime to do the work for the kids, the generations to come. And and we're doing it, and we're honored to have you by our side. And just, you already know, I don't have to say it. It's all good. It's just blessings. And
Vice versa. Yes.
mm,
I feel
I know,
like
just look. I don't know if my cheeks can get any more red and rosy. I mean, I know it's just so funny, but I'm just, I'm going to explode with love and peace and happiness from this beautiful, miraculous call. And your stories, Katie, thank you. Oh my goodness, thank you for sharing those beautiful stories. And thank you for all of the beautiful souls you continue to touch, to inspire, to uplift, to heal, to educate, and to bring this world back together collectively as one. And we're doing it together. And that's,
yes, our purpose is one.
Your purpose is one.
Yes.
is one.
Katie, if somebody who's listening right now wanted to join you and learn from you, how could they reach you?
My website is Arizona Spiritual Events with an S. And my phone number is there, my contact, my email, everything on Instagram. I don't go there as often, but I do check it, is Spiritually Strong.
Oh, wonderful.
And to assure all of our brothers and sisters watching right now, Marla and I have been honored to work with you in learning and healing and vice versa. Again, don't forget, we're all teachers, but yet we're also
sharing.
always being students. We're always here to learn and grow. And that is the tree of life. That is the expansion of our souls. And we're never done learning. And we're honored again to call you our friend, our teacher, our sister, our family.
You guys.
And we don't want this beautiful conversation to end, but this will be our first one of many, which I love.
Amen.
More to come. More to come.
And you
yes.
already know our beautiful sign off. So Marla and I are sending you blessings and intentions of gratitude, light, and love. We love you. We love you. We love you. We honor you. We honor you. We honor you. And you're with us every second.
Thank you guys.
Mm.
Love you guys.
Love you. And I know we'll see you soon for hugs, even through this COVID, but it's coming. It's all
coming.
good. We're going to be there soon together.
I love you.
Mwah, mwah, mwah. We will see you soon.
Yes. Take care.
Love you.